when an unemployed man spotted a 3-meter-long reticulated python on the side of the road one night, he hatched a plan to make some money. He grabbed the snake, got back on his bike, and then proceeded to head home. The python, however, had no interest in becoming a fashion accessory and took actions to reverse the situation. This is the tragic story of the man who tried to sell a snake. Home to almost 33 million people, Malaysia, situated in Southeast Asia, has become increasingly modern and enjoyed huge economic growth over the past few decades. The larger areas, especially the capital Kuala Lumpur and the major tourist locations, enjoy a quality of living very similar to that of a Western country. In the smaller villages and rural locations, however, many still live in varying degrees of poverty, and housing in the poorer areas can often be a basic shack with minimal facilities. Jinjarom in the Kuala Langat district of Malaysia's southwest coast is one such place the stark differences in living standards can often be observed. In areas of the country that lack adequate support for those struggling, people in need can be willing to take risks in order to survive. These risks, however, can often lead to tragic outcomes. At around 3 AM on January 28, 2018, local man Zaim Koznin was riding his bike home in the early hours of the morning when he spotted a 13-foot-long reticulated python sitting on the side of the road. The 35-year-old unemployed widower lived with his sister in Jinjarom in the Kuala Langat district. Having no job and being desperate for money, Zaim decided he would attempt to catch the python and sell it for cash. Every year around 300,000 reticulated pythons are harvested from the wild across Indonesia and Malaysia for the manufacture of boots, belts, shoes and handbags. Although still legal to catch them in the wild, hunters must have a special license. And with a European ban on Malaysian snakeskin reducing demand, hunters can only expect to receive around $25 per specimen. Reticulated pythons are some of the largest snakes in the world. Although they are not venomous, reticulated pythons are extremely strong and can kill their prey by constriction, and they are known to attack humans. However, in spite of the danger, and with his eye on the money, Zaim grabbed the snake, got back on his bike, and proceeded to head home. The python, however, although not aware of the awful fate that would await it, decided it was about time to fight back. The snake began to wrap itself around its captor. According to Azizan Tukaman, police superintendent of the Selangor Police Department, a struggle then ensued before Mr. Koznin fell from his bike. However, instead of slithering off to safety, the snake continued to constrict its victim. With the 170-pound snake coiled around him with its powerful grip, Zaim was helpless to save himself. It wouldn't be until later in the morning, however, that villagers would discover a lifeless Zaim lying on the side of the road, with both the snake and his motorbike still on top of him. The Selangor Fire and Rescue Department was called to the scene, where they were ordered to destroy the snake in order to free the victim. The police investigation concluded that while riding home with the snake, it coiled itself around the victim's neck. The man fell off his bike with the snake still wrapped around him, where it would remain until rescue workers retrieved it. These tragic interactions happen across Malaysia and Indonesia more often than you'd think. In June of 2018, a 54-year-old woman went missing while attending her garden in the Sulawesi province in Indonesia. Her sandals and equipment were eventually found. The fate of the woman, however, became tragically apparent when a giant python with a bloated belly was spotted just 30 meters from her belongings. An almost identical incident took place in the same province a year earlier, when a 25-year-old palm oil farmer was discovered inside the body of a large python after going missing a few days earlier. While attacks on humans by pythons are rare, eroding habitat and food sources are thought to be leading to an increase in incidents.